Yo, what's up, everybody? This channel here is long overdue for an update. A lot has been going on since I uploaded that first sparring video. So let me just jump right into it here. So I did that first sparring session, right? And then afterwards, I talked to the head coach, and I was like, "Hey, man, interested in doing a fight sometime soon." Preferably between now and spring. So kind of let me know, what I need to do, what I need to prove to you, etc., for you to feel confident letting me get in the ring and do a fight. So he basically said, he feels a lot more comfortable letting me do an exhibition basically immediately, and to do a sanctioned USA Boxing amateur fight. He was thinking I need to do 20, 30, something like that, sparring sessions to really get ready for, what could happen in a sanctioned fight, which slightly confused me because in a sanctioned fight, I'd have to fight someone older because I'm 41, so I'd have to fight someone 35 or older. And there's a lot more wiggle room with exhibition fights. So that confused me a little bit, but I think what he's basically saying is with the exhibition, he'd probably know my opponent or maybe just feel better about it in some way, shape, or form. I don't know why, but so we'll fast forward actually to a huge announcement, which is I am fighting an exhibition fight Saturday, October 28th. So. And he does know the opponent. It is a dude from the other gym. So the gym that I go to has two locations, and I'm going to fight a dude from the other location. And this dude has also never done a fight. I don't know how long he's been training for. I've been training for under a year. And as I learned talking to people around the gym, there's dudes that have been there that are really good, noticeably better, more skilled boxers than I, that have never done a fight. So, I don't know if I bit off more than I can chew here, but I just got to trust my head coach's matchmaking abilities that it's going to be a relatively fair fight. Okay, so that's big announcement one, is I actually do have an exhibition fight. Now, my original bucket list item was to do a fight. I didn't specify originally if it was going to be exhibition or an official USA boxing fight. I just wanted to get in the ring, go through the process, go through the getting over the nerves and the fear, and show everyone, what I've been learning for the last year, right? Let's test out these skills. So now we're going to backtrack a little bit because I pretty much have already done a fight. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. So I'm now up to, I think, 7 or 8 sparring sessions in total. I started to keep a log after he told me I needed to do 20 to 30, for him to start to feel good that I would be competent in the ring. But then he threw kind of a fight my way after a couple sparring sessions. And so what most of the sparring I've done has been with dudes that I know from the location of the gym that I go to. So I work with these guys in the class. I know their name. I know their dog's name. We're like friends basically, right? But it's still hard sparring. I mean, if you watched my first sparring video, it was with dudes I knew. I knew their dog's name. I knew their girlfriend's name, right? We're friends, and I still had a black eye from it, So it's not like these other sparring sessions are light sparring. I mean, I kind of came to learn there is no such thing as light sparring. If anything, there's such a thing as medium sparring, but I don't really think there is such a thing as light sparring in most cases. But anyhow, so that's what most of my sparring was. But then a couple Wednesdays ago, which is normally sparring night, I show up and there's all these dudes in the gym that I never seen before. And I'm like, well, this is interesting. These guys got to be here for the sparring. So basically, our coach coordinated with a totally different gym that he has nothing to do with, as well as the other location of the gym that he owns. And he brought in dudes for us all to spar. And so I sparred 2 different dudes for 5 total rounds, and it was a fight, all right? Because you don't know the dude and because all his gym friends are rooting him on and all your gym homies are rooting you on, and you're supposedly equal skill level, give or take, equal experience, whatever, it is a fight. I mean, like, I took all my governors off on my power, because I really, in these normal sparring sessions, I don't unload my power on any of these dudes unless it's like a body shot, basically. And part of that's because I know I can hit hard as hell, but the other part of it's because I know they can hit hard as hell, and they are better boxers. So it's like, only hit someone as hard as you want them to hit you, sort of thing, right? So, but this was clearly going to be a fight. I mean, like, I didn't, the vibes in the gym were different. It was just like, okay, this is the time for me to start to show what I'm really made of, So that went well, which is probably why my coach let me do the exhibition fight like almost immediately, but there's still more backstory to this. I'm trying to get through all this crap without boring you guys too much. So for the fight, which was really just hard sparring with dudes from other gyms, the one dude I did 4 rounds with, and that dude was a total warrior for sure. I don't want to use no names, but he and I had a straight slugfest. I would say I probably won if we had to say who won, but I mean, it was close and it was a very good fight. There wasn't a mismatch at all. I would maybe say I won just because I had a couple more impactful things. Like, for example, I got his nose bleeding. I was not bleeding. And I hit him with one right hook that had him like stumble across the ring. I'm like, even asked him in the middle of him, like, you good? And he's like nodded his head, yeah. So we kept going, but it was like a pretty hard, it was a hard shot. Like, I threw, of course you can't throw every shot as hard as you can, but I threw a lot of really hard punches at this dude. And he's a total warrior. He clocked me with some good hard shots, particularly a hook or two, I remember. My jaw was sore, so mad respect to him. He was very, very good, formidable opponent, by all means. And, if we're going by points, I don't even know if I won or not for sure. He may have landed more or something, but I know if it came to like who got punched harder and who was probably feeling it more the next day, I would think he was feeling it more the next day. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. It was good experience, because you got the nerves, because you don't know the dude, you don't know if he's really good, you don't know how he fights. There's a lot bigger audience for it. And then the second dude I only did 1 round with. That dude, I think, kind of like didn't want all the smoke. My strategy for both these guys was at least within the first few punches, maybe not necessarily the first one, but within the first few punches, maybe 15-20 seconds into the fight at max, which it probably was only like 4 or 5 seconds into the fight, I made sure I unleashed some like really hard punches at them so that they would respect my power, and that would help me dictate the pace of the fight, because once they got rocked and they could tell that I could really hit hard, I figured it, like, if they planned on doing like a pressure fight or planned on bringing the volume my way, it probably changed their game plan right away, and they were more like, oh, maybe I should box this guy from the outside or just not be super aggressive because he can rock me. And with the other dude, I think after those initial like shots that I put a lot of strength into, I think he was kind of on his back foot a lot of it. It was, not that he like punked out. I mean, he did the round, and he even got me with some decent shots. So by all means, respect to him too, but he wasn't quite as formidable of an opponent as the other dude that I did 4 rounds with. So that was the quote unquote hard sparring that I would say was basically kind of like a fight, because it was 100%. I was going 100, and you can't tell me that those other dudes weren't going 100 back at me. There's no way. So got that out of the way a couple weeks ago. So then I'm doing more sparring. In the meantime, I'm 2 weeks into a super strict diet, because again, I'm trying to get a fight in between now and the spring, which, as you guys now know, I have one on the 28th, but I might do more than a fight. I might just do one. I might do more. Who knows? I don't know for sure. But if it's going to be a USA boxing fight in the Masters division, there's a cutoff at either 176 or 178. And I was, prior to this diet, about 187, 188. and, definitely got 10 pounds of fat on me that I could shed to get down to that lower division and fight lighter dudes and just go in at the top of it. So I started this strict diet so that I could, if the opportunity comes along, my coach signs off on it. I feel like doing another fight after this exhibition. Again, who knows? I might get KO'd in this thing because the dude's just better than me. I kind of doubt that, but either way, I'm on this strict diet so that I could make a USA men's masters division boxing fight at the cutoff of it's either 176 or 178. So right now I'm down to 182 today. So the diet's been going good. It's been eating the exact same foods, literally the exact same foods for the last 12 days, or maybe I'm only 10 days in, I don't know, but it is shredding the weight off me for sure. So I'm doing this diet and I'm like basically just waiting on fights to pop up. So then, unfortunately, in the meantime, after somewhere in that hard spar a couple weeks ago, or even like slightly leading up to it, and then definitely the Wednesday after when I sparred again, my right shoulder, although also my left a little bit, but more so my right, feels like I've got either a little rotator cuff tear or an impingement or some kind of soft tissue thing going on in my right shoulder. So I'm like, okay, this sucks. Like, I'm trying to hit the ground running. And why did it probably happen? Because I started going to the gym 4 days a week. I was going Tuesday, Thursday, and then, spending a day on my own, hitting the bags, working on footwork. The other days I'd do cardio or like a strength and conditioning type session. But I was actually only going to the boxing gym 2 days a week from April till like maybe a month or so ago. And then I started to dial it up to 3 or 4 days, depending on what we had going in on the weekend, so that I could get those extra sparring sessions in, get my skills up, because I've kind of got this window between now and spring to do a fight. Why do I have a window? My poor old dog, who I love to death, man, he ain't got a whole lot longer in him. His back legs are starting to go, and I can't really go on a vacation or leave the house too much. And a vacation would obviously get me out of the zone. I go to Vegas a lot, or I go to a beach. I'm going to end up drinking. I'm going to end up like screwing up my tight diet that I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? It's just like, so that, and then also I live on waterway and I have a boat in the summer, so I'm not going to miss all of like boating season so that I can be on this strict diet and not drink any alcohol, right? I'm 41, guys. I'm not trying to have a career in boxing. I'm trying to learn how to box, which I've done, get a couple fights in, and then who knows, maybe next fall through spring I'll do it again. But either way, that's why I've got this window that I'm viewing as an opportunity. I'm not vacationing. I'm staying around, chilling with my dog. I got to help him off the floor a lot because of his back legs. And so it just makes sense that like this is my opportunity. So long story short, I've been going to the gym more to try to capitalize on this window. And now my shoulders are starting to get sick of me punching things 4 days a week. And the whole reason I started boxing is because my joints were sick of me weightlifting too often, and now it's finally kind of catching up with me in the boxing world, where my soft tissue, tendons, ligaments, whatever, are getting sick of me doing the same thing too many days a week. So I miss a day last week to let my shoulders heal. I go in the next day and the coach is like, hey, do you want to do a fight on the 28th? Which was like literally 10 days notice or 11 days notice. And I'm like, yes, I do. Count me in. But, I'm kind of nursing this like shoulder injury. So, just keep that in mind. Like, I'll do the fight with the shoulder hurt. But between me saying I want to do the fight and the fight, they want me to do like a lot more sparring and get in the gym like even more often. And I'm like, just understand, Mr. Head Coach, that like I might not be able to be here as much as you want, because it's like I'll take a day off, my shoulder will start to feel better, I'll go to the gym, it'll start to feel worse. So I need to let this thing rest, but right now I do not have the opportunity to do that because I'm fighting in, today's Tuesday, I'm fighting in 5 days. So now I got to get through this week's of training without hopefully jacking up my shoulder anymore. And it sucks because while I should be worried about like dialing in technique and things like that, I'm more so worried about like shoulder rehab and not screwing it up, Like I don't even care if it gets screwed up in the fight. I'll have adrenaline and whatever. but I just don't want it to get so bad that before the fight, I feel like I got to pull out, you know? So, I mean, it would take a lot for me to do that, man. I committed. I just want to get this thing on the books. I want to do the dang fight. So, anyways, since we've last talked, since that first sparring session, done many more sparring sessions. I'm up to, I think, 8 now. One of them was with dudes from another gym, and it was pretty much a fight. Signed up for a fight on the 28th, exhibition, won't have an official USA boxing record. There's not even an official weigh-in. Like, basically, my coach just knows me, knows the dude from the other gym, and he's like, yeah, you guys are, like, within a reasonable weight range of each other, within a reasonable experience level of each other, so you guys are going to do the exhibition fight. And it's like, all right, cool. You know, we both, I'm sure, just trust him. We're not weighing in. Nothing like that. That said, I don't want to just go off this diet and balloon up and go back to like 188, because I told him at the time I was weighing like 182, 183. So I think he expects me to still be on the lower end of my weight range. And then also, if this fight goes good, if I can get my shoulder to heal after this dang exhibition fight, then I do have a shot. They're hosting an official USA boxing match on December 2nd. So maybe the coach would let me slide into that if I prove to him in this exhibition fight that I can hold my own in that ring, which I pretty much did already in that hard sparring fight, and that's why he let me do this exhibition. So anyways, guys, so that's what's going on. Going into this fight, I pretty much know, because I work with like all the baddest dudes in my gym, man. I'm not trying to like, you know, I'm not as good as them, right? But I do work with them. And they tell me that, like, yeah, I've got a real solid chin. I can eat a liver shot, you know, without even going down. And watch, now I'm going to get dropped by a liver shot in the fight or something. But I got a really solid chin, and I hit hard as hell. A couple people have said that, and I haven't even tried to hit them hard. One dude's like, even if I block your jab with my glove hits my head, and, like, it rattles my brain. So I know I can hit hard. I know I got a good chin. So worst comes to worst, if this dude can totally outbox me, he's actually been at the gym for 5 years, he just hasn't done a fight. If he's just way more talented boxing than me, I'm going to have to bank on my chin and my power and basically pressure fight him, which is what I mainly do anyways, and just go in there and try to just win on that alone, you know. And honestly, I feel like I probably could. So we'll see. I'm not overlooking nothing. I'm sure this dude is going to bring the heat. So, you know, it's going to be cool. It's going to be exciting. My nerves come and go a little bit, you know. I'll get like a little bit of nerves, and then like it'll pass and whatever. But you know, I just wish my dang shoulder didn't hurt, and then I'd feel so much better about this. But either way, I ain't trying to make that an excuse. You know, it's like a dull, aching kind of pain. It's not even really like a shooting, throbbing pain. So I'm sure I can work through it, especially again with the adrenaline of the fight. I just hope that nothing happens to me between now and Saturday when I'm in this boxing gym, which is where I'm headed right now, to make it any worse. So anyways, y'all, I know there's no sparring footage of me whatsoever on this channel. I will make sure that someone records this fight. And even if I get frickin' KO'd, or I do some embarrassing, sloppy, ugly boxing, I'm gonna post it. It is what it is. I've only been at this thing for a year. Half the time I was going to one class a week, so I'm kind of rushing into it. But, you know, again, I'm trying to capitalize on this window. I got old man tendons. They're sick of weightlifting. They're getting sick of boxing. I can't necessarily keep doing this stuff forever. So, you know, if the coach will let me do a fight, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to do it. And, you know, it's all good, whatever the outcome is. So, anyways, guys, I'll try to post a picture, too, of the dudes I was sparring, or maybe I already will have, just to show you the guys from the other gym. Again, mad respect to them. One of the dudes wasn't in the photo. The guy that is in the photo that I worked with is the long blonde hair, long beard. He's all the way on the right side. Stockier dude, but like definitely a little bit shorter than me. I had reach on him. But anyways, guys, that's it. A lot more to come here within the next week. There will be a video of me doing my fight. All right, talk to you guys later.